Bethel High School in Hampton, Virginia. It's varsity baseball here at LSC, your local sports channel.
And like Andy says, it's windy.
It's windy,
here.
yeah. It kind of threw everything away there.
Yeah, now I can hear you. I couldn't hear you before. And Mike Hauser along with Paul Rowe here and the rest of the gang is we play here at Bethel High School. This is our first varsity baseball game of the year. We'll have one more before the season ends that should cover the Hampton-Kecoughtan matchup. But today we have the Phoebus Phantoms with a record of 2-10 overall coming in here to play the homestanding Bethel Bruins. 6-6 on the year in the district and 7-6 overall. Both teams in kind of a growing rebuilding mode right now as the Phoebus Phantoms have a new coaching staff, and talk a little bit about that as the game goes on. Bethel Bruins, I believe this is the second year this coaching staff has been together. So both teams in a growing mode here, trying to get together and start a new thing going for each one of the teams here at their high schools. Bethel has been one of the premium schools in the district over the years, and last couple of years they've been a little bit down. Phoebus is trying to get something going, and with a new coaching staff, they seem to be starting right now. They're still in the playoff hunt, even though they've only won 2 games. They're a game ahead of believe it or not, Denby. Of all teams, who's been a team that's been up there in the top this year, way down below. So we're going to lead it off here in the top of the first inning with the Phoebus Phantoms. We'll be starting off Tommy Backey, number 3. There's a little line drive hit to center field for a base hit as Backey starts the game with a single up the middle.
Yeah, Mike, you were alluding to it earlier. This Phoebus team, a very young team under the new coach, Coach Feeney Carter. And here's the lineup for the Phoebus Phantoms here today. Number 3, Tommy Backey at second base, bats first. Second, number 4, James Voris, the pitcher. Third, number 9, Caleb Ward, the shortstop, followed by number 17, Timmy Newman, the catcher. Batting fifth, number 7, Hunter Boswell at first base. Then number 16, Ethan Bolts at DH. Number 0, Michael Lee in right field. I think he'll be DH'd for. Number 21, Dakota Shackle is the third baseman. And number 6, Tim Garris in left field. With number 2, Dominique Holt, the speedster in center field, batting ninth. And we'll get you the DH for Bolts here. The DH is going to. Oh, he is the DH. I'm sorry.
He is the DH. He's actually DHing for Michael Lee.
Right.
Michael Lee's playing right field in it. And this is James Voris, and it looks like they're trying to keep the runner at first base close as the batter Voris, the pitcher, by the way, the starting pitcher today for the Phantoms, scored around to show a bunt. Let's see what he does this time. Still does it. And fouls it straight back. Nice pitch to use for a bunt, but not successful as the ball comes back towards the screen.
Well, they are a young team, Mike, and they're going to be concentrating on a lot of fundamentals here. Coach Carter has them working from the bottom up. He's going to turn this team into a viable pennant contender, hopefully here in the district. They're young. They've only got 1 senior on the team.
The bunt down the first baseline, perfectly played. Toss over to the second baseman covering on the play for the first out. A sacrifice there for Boris as advancing to second base is Backey.
A very good sacrifice bunt. Pitch was a little up and outside, Mike, and Voris actually went up after that and pushed that thing almost for a base hit. I tell you,
he almost ran it out too.
Yeah, he missed that by about a step. Nice push bunt. Good job of sacrificing there.
Next batter is the shortstop, number 9, Caleb Ward. Runner at second as the Phantoms threaten here in the top of the first inning. It's a nice curveball. It was fouled off the inside foot of Ward.
Caleb Ward playing shortstop. Mike, he's just a freshman. He's one of the keys to this rebuilding here at Phoebus. He's batting third, playing shortstop. Going to be one of the top players here at Phoebus as he continues his career. Keep your eye on this young kid. Caleb Ward.
Young team is the Phantoms as they start new this year and trying to build a program. that's really suffered over the past years, and a new coaching staff, a new outlook on life, and it's fouled back out of play down the first baseline. And I hope it doesn't hit my car over there.
Well, if it
my
does,
wife won't be happy about that because I'm driving her car.
Oh Lord! What precipitated that, or should I ask?
She can't drive right now. She hurt her knee and she can't even move her leg.
Those knees kind of run in your family, don't they?
Yeah. Little pitches outside for a ball. 1-2 is the count. As you can probably hear through the mics, the wind is blowing pretty good here at Bethel today. And they said it would be gusting up to 25 miles an hour. That pitch is a curveball inside. That'll even it out 2-2 here with one out in the top of the first inning.
That was a really, really, really lazy curve, as I call it. That thing crawled up to the plate.
Had just enough mustard to get it there, huh?
Yes.
Pitch is high and outside. Full count now, 3-2 on the batter. Caleb Ward, shortstop.
Big infield right here.
Caleb Ward looking to get a base hit here. He should be looking toward the right side of the infield outfield. Move that runner along to third.
Pitch is high, ball 4. Ward is on first base with a walk. That puts runners at first and second. That's going to bring up the cleanup batter, number 17, Timmy Newman. He is the catcher for the Phoebus Phantoms. This is actually the replay of the sacrifice, and he almost
Look
ran
at how close that was. That was really, really close.
Hey, Steve, wherever your momentum going.
So runners at first and second, still one down. That's going to bring up the cleanup batter, number 17, catcher Timmy Newman.
Mike, he's the only senior on the team batting in the cleanup spot. He's got 2 runners on here with 1 out. Good chance for Phoebus to score a run here.
A little high.
A little high, but that was a wheelhouse pitch right there.
That was the kind of pitch that might have been seeing that red or that yellow stripe across the top of that fence.
Yeah.
But we were talking earlier, one of the things that's really changed this year is with these new bats. They just the ball's just not popping off of the bats now like they have in the past years. Had an article in the newspaper this week talking about with the different coaches how the change in the bats has really decreased the power coming off of them.
I totally disagree with that. I don't think it decreased the power at all. I think the power is still there. It's just not going as far because of the different composite of the bats. And I was talking to Coach Carter of Phoebus before the game, and both of us are old throwbacks to the game of baseball. We really like getting back to the wooden bats, and this is coming close to doing that. The power's still there.
Well,
you're still getting it.
I'm not talking about the power from the individuals that are swinging the bat. I'm talking about the pop of the power off of the bat with the ball. The sweet spot, instead of it being 6 to 8 inches across the barrel of the bat, now it's way down to like just a couple inches. You got to hit it in a certain spot really to be able to get the pop off the bat like you used to.
Right. Well, that's considered more speed than anything else there, though. The speed of the ball coming off the bat at the time of contact. And that's what bothered everybody because it was so quick coming off the bat that it would get through the infield before you could blink your eyes. Now you still got the same power.
Yeah, home runs are way down this year compared to the past. As an example, Warwick, the launching pad, last year halfway through the season there was 13 home runs. This year there's only 7.
But I can remember back when you and I were in school, 13 home runs with wooden bats was nothing.
No.
20 would be nothing in that field.
That's a line shot to the gap. Center fielder gets across there and stops and drops the ball. We're going to have 2 runners. Well, 1 runner score. Slides underneath the tag at third base. So an RBI single by Newman will plate from second base, Backey, for the Phantoms' first run.
Watch this replay. Nice, solid shot. That ball was hit right to the gap. Hard hit, about 8-9 feet off the ground. Solid. You knew it was going to be in. The runners were off. Easily picking up the RBI is the cleanup batter, Timmy Newman, for the Phoebus Phantoms.
Number 7, Hunter Boswell. He is the first baseman for the Phantoms up. He's a good-sized young man right here, batting 5th in the order. Runners at the corners. There goes the runner down to second base, and he's in there safely under the throw. Good throw, too, just a little bit late. Swing and a miss by Boswell on that first pitch as he's protecting the runner, but runners now at second and third. Still one out here. 1-0, the Phantoms jump out in front with a runner still in scoring position.
Mike, that was a really good, strong throw by Rashawn Chambers, the catcher for Bethel. Made it a close play down there at second.
That's a curveball hit down the third baseline. That's going to score both runners. On his way to second is Boswell with a stand-up 2 RBI double.
Boy, did Boswell ever zone in on that pitch, Mike. That pitch just kind of hung right there as we watch the replay. Look at this. That breaking pitch hangs, and Boswell is all over it, rips it down into the corner. One of the prettiest hits you'll see in baseball is that hit into the corner. And easily, both runners will score to give Phoebus a 3-0 lead as Boswell will pull up at second with a stand-up double.
2 RBIs on the play that time as their timeout is called now as the coaching staff is out there talking with the pitcher on the mound. Mr. LaFontaine on his way out there to break it up as we will carry on here. It's 3-0. Phoebus jumping out in front here in the top of the first inning. Ethan Bolts, number 16, the DH, is now the batter, a left-hander.
Beautiful day at Bethel High School here in Hampton, Virginia, off Big Bethel Road. Had some rain here the last couple of days, and Bethel's done a good job. Coach Ming and his crew, along with Ray Smith, the AD here at Bethel, doing a great job to have the field ready. You know, it's got that reputation for holding a lot of water in this area, especially since they built this road over here to our left, Mike, going back to the new school. It's up and elevated so that the water drains down and adds even more to the problem of the wet field.
We had over 2 inches of rain here yesterday, and the field really looks good.
Yeah.
There's a pitch in the dirt. Good job by the catcher for Bethel.
Yeah, can't praise the Bethel crew enough for the wonderful job they did in having this field ready to play today.
1-1 is the count. Still only one out here. And that came from a sacrifice bunt early in the inning. That's a foul ball right here at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on the batter, Ethan Bolts. Phantoms DH for, actually DH is for the right fielder, Michael Lee.
Yeah, and Mike, I apologize. I said earlier that Timmy Newman was the only senior. I believe that Ethan Bolts is a senior. So I'll retract that statement as being the only one. I think
he
there's 2.
Went up there and got that one. That ball was over his head, and he actually grounded the ball down to first baseline. Nice play by the first baseman to get the out. Advancing over to third base is Boswell. So now with 2 outs and a runner at third base, that's going to bring up number 21, Dakota Shackle.
Watch him go up there and get this pitch way up there. He had to come up on his tiptoes, Mike, to get that one and belt it down. Still pulled it. Doing the right thing, though, trying to get the ball to the right side, sneak it in between first and second.
Nice low curve ball in there for a strike.
It's very similar to the one that earlier Boswell ripped down the left field line for a double.
Outside, 1-1 is the count.
Now this tells you how unaware I am. I just realized we're sitting off center from where we usually sit.
Usually we're right behind that pole,
Yeah.
and now we're off to the left side down to the third baseline, so we're a little offset. Oh, that's a shot down to center field. And almost making the play is the Bruins center fielder off his glove. Nice single there by Shackle will pick up the RBI as Boswell will come in and score the 4th run for the Phantoms.
And watch this, Mike. This is a solid shot, and I'm impressed with Ramel Reynolds. Watch this ball go into center field. The center field makes a dive for it, but look at Ramel Reynolds. He cuts it off, comes up quickly and throws, holds the batter to a single. That was a great job by Bethel, but an excellent piece of hitting by Dakota Shackle to get that 4th run in for the Phoebus Phantoms.
Next, going to bring up number 6, Tim Garris. He is the left fielder for the Phantoms. Swing and a miss, and a stolen base going down to second base is Shackle safely. He stole that one on the pitcher. He was already on his way before the pitcher made the move to the plate.
Like you're out there having fun.
That's not something a pitcher takes lightly.
Pitches outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tim Garris, the left fielder, a sophomore for these young Phoebus Phantoms, who are evidently trying to make a statement here in the first inning, Mike.
Well, they've jumped on them with 4 runs here in the opening frame. Popped up down to first baseline, back out of play. Don't hit the hot dog stand.
Was that what I smelled? Don't tell Scotty.
Oh, Scotty's the one that pointed it out earlier.
Oh, is it?
The hot dogs are ready, fellas. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Scotty says, I'm hungry. They smell good, too.
Yeah, they really do. Something about the smell of a hot dog at a ball game.
Good job by the catcher that time, stopping that ball from going anywhere and holding the runner at second base.
Rashawn Chambers, the catcher for the Bruins behind the plate. He's doing a good job back there, Mike. I like the way he moves around, sets up. Listen to those sounds of baseball.
There goes the runner to third, swing and a miss, strike 3 for the 3rd out of the inning. What a good inning for the Phoebus Phantoms. 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and there was 1 left on. So after a half an inning to play, the Phoebus Phantoms 4, and the Bethel Bruins coming to the plate.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching LSC, your local sports channel, here on Cox Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23. Let's take a look at the replay of that last line drive we saw earlier. Watch this thing. Boom.
That center fielder almost made a tremendous catch right there.
He did, and he's a hustler, too. He is one of the fastest players on that team for the Bethel Bruins, the center fielder. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with the Bethel Bruins lineup today. Leading off be number 15, Cisco Scott at shortstop, followed by number 3, Ramel Reynolds in left field. Batting third, number 12, Connor Henderson, the center fielder we were just talking about. The cleanup batter, number 20, Jasiel Graves at first base, followed by number 19, Rashawn Chambers in left field, and then by number 7, Taylor Moody at second base. The designated hitter is number 4, Xavier Kane. The pitcher, batting 7th, Logan Wetzler. And number 10, Stephen DeShong is the third baseman. And batting 9th, number 18, Jonathan Gomez in right field.
And just to let you know.
Yeah, I missed that one.
That Jasiel is actually Hassel.
Oh, is it Hassel?
It's Hassel.
Hassel.
And the coaching staff made sure that I knew that, too. it's spell it Hassel, H-O, that way you don't make the mistake.
Hassel.
Hassel.
Hassel. And by the way, Logan Wetzler, just for the viewing audience information, he will not be batting. He is being DH'd for by Xavier Kane.
Yep, in the
Hassel.
number 7 spot. Hello there, we are on. So
Hassel.
as we get ready to start the bottom of the first inning here, as the Bethel Bruins find themselves trailing early here, 4-0. Number 15, Cisco Scott, the shortstop, will lead it off for the Bruins.
If you're just joining us in the first inning, the Phoebus Phantoms started this game off Tommy Back singled. He was sacrificed to second base, and then Caleb Ward walked, putting runners at first and second. Timmy Newman came up and hit a sharp single that scored 1 run, and that was followed by Hunter Boswell, who ripped a hanging curveball into left field for a 2 RBI double. And eventually, Dakota Shackle would come up and hit a single into the gap, scoring Boswell for the 4th run. And that's where we stand as we go into the bottom of the first inning here at Bethel High School on April the 24th. It is a Tuesday, if I remember correctly, of 2012, as we hear the sounds of freedom overhead.
There's a line shot right up the middle past the second baseman, and Cisco Scott gets the Bruins on the warpath here early, all the way on first. I mean, that was a shot.
Mike, if there was any doubt in your head how the Bethel Bruins were going to handle that rough first inning, Mr. Scott took care of that. As you see him on the replay, just take that first pitch and rip it right up the middle. These Bruins are coming out hitting.
Number 3, Romel Reynolds, the left fielder now for the Bruins, who made a great play out there to hold that runner batter to a single earlier. Squares around the bunt. Perfect bunt down the third base line. It rolls foul. Had that one all the way, too. I'll tell you what, that ball was just hit a little too hard and it rolled foul.
You're going to have to get the groundskeeper out here to come and re-level that baseline there.
So 0-1 is to count as the ball goes foul.
Both second batters for Phoebus and Bethel giving you a little insight to the minds of the two coaches today, as they're both sacrificing with their runners getting on at the top of the game.
Reynolds calls timeout and backs out of there.
Keep your eye on the base runners for the Bethel Bruins today, ladies and gentlemen. They've got a lot of speed up and down the lineup, so it wouldn't surprise me to see any of these guys running at any time as they throw over to first base for Cisco Scott, the freshman.
He's got a big lead over there. As you can see on the screen, he's working his way off the bag. Squares around and misses. 0-2 now is the count, so I guess they'll take the bunt off and swing away here. Let's see what the coach does for the Phantoms.
Let's see if they get real aggressive here. The bunt didn't work, so do you try the hit and run with a 0-2 count? No.
Not with 0-2. He did. He squared around, pulled it back. That looked like it was a pretty good pitch. Called ball, though. 1 ball, 2 strikes is to count.
That's pretty gutsy with 2 strikes on you.
Yeah. And then pulled back. Say the batter knew it was a ball, right?
Yeah, he better. Now.
Popped it up. He was able to get the ball down on the ground and throw to first base for the out. But the sacrifice work as Scott goes to second base.
Go, guys. Play tough. Play like you want to.
Well,
that's exactly the way the Phantoms started off the first inning.
It
A
is.
base hit and a sacrifice.
But give Coach Mingy some credit right there. He knows his batters to have them bunting on 2 strikes.
Connor Henderson now the batter center fielder. Almost made a wonderful catch out there in center field last inning, diving for the ball, just missed it.
Yes, he did. This is probably the leader of the team, Connor Henderson. He's a senior. A senior, by the way, who went to Jones Magnet Middle School. It's a plug for the school there.
Curveball is a little bit low outside.
Hey, chop it up, guys. Let's go.
You got good speed at second base in Cisco Scott, so if Henderson can get one to one of the gaps, I would expect to have him sent home to score the run. We'll see what happens.
That's a shot to right center field. That was going to go all the way to the fence, on his way to second base, and he will keep going all the way to third. The runner scores, and Henderson is a stand-up triple.
And Mike, that was a shot. His head was right down on the ball as it came across the plate. You can see him looking down the barrel of the bat as he rips this one. Look at this. That's a perfect shot of hitting the ball. And that one went to the gap and went all the way to the fence. And with Henderson's good speed, he never even hesitated as he hit second base and kept right on going, standing up as he goes into third.
Now, Hassel Graves is now the batter. He is number 20, the first baseman for the Bethel Bruins. There's a strike on the outside corner.
And this is Hassel. Hassel, is that?
Hassel Graves.
Hassel Graves.
Pitch is a little inside, ball. 1-1 is the count.
Graves, another senior for the Bruins here. Left-handed stick.
Ooh, he went after it with a bunt and just barely fouled it off.
Makes you wonder, was he bunting for the base hit, or was that a safety squeeze, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I don't believe the runner at third base was moving at all. He didn't even look like he was thinking about coming home.
Well, he couldn't go home right now, Mike. I mean, he's got a ball game he's got to play. I'm back.
You're back. Curveball hit down
nice.
First base. Makes the stop. Nope, gets through him. Throws the ball all the way back into the dugout. And Graves will go all the way to second base on the dead ball in the dugout. And coming around to score is Connor Henderson, as Bethel has come back here with two, with one out, and now Graves at second base. Let's see, we're going to have a E3 on that one, right?
I got blocked by the 4x4
Let's see the
here,
replay here. I believe you're going to have to charge a first baseman with an error because it went right by his leg.
Yeah.
And then another error on the second baseman for throwing the ball into the dugout. And that puts Graves at second base. Rashad Chambers is now the batter, number 19. He is the Bruin catcher.
So Phoebus erupts for some
Spit it out there, buddy.
Phoebus erupts for 4 runs in the first inning, and the Bethel Bruins come right back in the first so far with 2 runs.
And this is going to be a long game.
Let's hope I can find my tongue by then.
What is it that Andy's always talking about? Overtime in football? We're going to have extra innings here. Ooh, that's a good pickoff. Oh, man. That was close.
They had lots of daylight down there.
You had him, didn't you?
Lots of daylight there. A little bit quicker release on that and turn, and they might have had him at second base.
Let's see what Chambers can do here.
Tell you, that wind is picking up, isn't it?
2-1 is the count. Yeah, it is a little bit. And when that sun goes behind one of those clouds, that wind's cold.
Yes, and I didn't bring my coat.
Yeah, you got your suit coat on. That's enough.
For you?
I got my old Canes jacket on. And I'm talking old.
Well,
This was
talking about yourself. You're
this
talking
ain't
about
the
the
Miami
jacket.
Canes. This was a AAU baseball team back when the youngsters played.
Oh, I thought it was an instrument you used to walk.
Ooh, well, that different type of cane.
Oh, that was a nice
swing.
pitch.
Nice pitch. Had him reaching for that one. 2-2 is the count now.
Yeah. James Voris really put something on that one. That one came across a little bit crawl on it and just kind of dove there at the end. Nice break to it.
Timeout is called out there by the second baseman. Now we're ready to go. 2-2 is the count. One down here, bottom of the first inning. Bethel coming back is right now 4-2. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch on a fastball as Chambers goes down with the second out of the inning for the Bethel Bruins. Taylor Moody is now the batter. The left fielder the second baseman number 7.
On that last pitch, James Morris put that one up just a little bit in the zone and kept it right on the outside of the plate, just out of reach. And Chambers just couldn't catch up with that one.
That one's in the dirt. And going down to third base safely with a stolen base is Hassel Graves.
I think that kind of surprised the Phoebus catcher, Timmy Newman, on that. Kind of surprised me, too.
Well, I think Newman dropped the ball on the pitch, and that Graves just jumped on it at that time and took off because he had to reach down to pick it up.
All right, I was wondering what the hesitation was because I saw him catch the ball, and then there was a hesitation before he popped up the throw. I thought it just kind of surprised him.
Pitch is ball. 2-0 is the count. Home plate umpire Keith LaFontaine had a son that played over at Heritage with a couple years back. There's a ground ball in the hole between shortstop and third base, and a base hit for Moody. That'll score Graves from third, making it 4-3 now. Phoebus. RBI single for Moody.
And that makes that stolen base a little more important for the Bethel Bruins right at this point. If he had been on second base, he'd have been at third only.
That's right. Xavier Kane now, the DH. He is DHing for the pitcher Logan Wetzler, as he is number 4.
I believe Xavier Kane is a sophomore. I'll tell you, a lot of young players on both these teams, Mike. Oh. But the umpire, they got it in the mask.
They got him in the face, right in the chest protector. Fouled back. 0-1 is the count. 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning.
I know it seems like the second.
And it is 4-3. I think you got 4-2 up there. It's actually 4-3.
And we are at Bethel High School in Hampton, Virginia. It is April 24th, Tuesday. You're watching LSC on Cox Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23.
Get Andy to put another run up there for Bethel. It's 4-3.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the scoreboard.
There's a swing and a miss on a nice fastball that was a little bit high.
Right now, James Morris is having success with that high fastball, particularly high and away.
And low and outside, that'll even the count. I'm sorry, it's 1-2. 2 down here, 4-3 as the Bruins trail with a runner at first base. That's Taylor Moody down there at first.
This has got to be a big confidence booster for Logan Wetzler, the Bethel pitcher. He was down 4-0 coming in, and now it's a one-run game. He's right back in it.
There goes Moody, and there's a ground ball to the shortstop. And a throw over to first base in time for the third out of the inning for the Bethel Bruins. In the bottom of the first inning, 3 runs.
You guys got everything you need?
On 3 hits. There were 2 errors and 1 left. So after 1 complete here, it is Phoebus 4 and the Bethel Bruins 3.
I said I'll have to send some water over about the 4th inning. Thank you. Hello, young man. You doing all right?
And how are you, sir? Yeah, I know.
That was Ray Smith, the athletic director here at Bethel High School. It just came by to make sure that everything was okay on our end and we didn't need anything. It was very nice of him.
Well, wait a minute. Let me see if I could get him. Oh, wait a minute. He's over there eating a hot dog. No kidding. No kidding. He is actually at the hot dog booth now getting food. Look at that.
I wonder if he's going to take some to the truck. I missed you on that, Mike. They had 3 runs on what? 1, 2,
3 hits.
3 hits. 2 errors?
2 errors.
1 on?
1 left.
All right.
After 1, 4-3, Phoebus.
What is it after 1?
It is 4-3. Phoebus. There is a picture of rain.
Actually, it's just after 5. It's about a minute after 5. You shouldn't have mentioned hot dogs. The truck is not going to quit now.
You notice the lady sitting there in the Army outfit. She's helping to protect the money, keep people from. She's guarding those hot dogs.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of this game, you'll be able to see us again and again and again and again. You'll be able to see us on Friday, March the 30th at 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. Saturday, March 31st at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Sunday, April 1st, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And Tuesday, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong one. We passed March.
Here, let me give you the right one, just in case they didn't give you the right one. Here's the right one that was handed to me. Here you go.
Well, this is the one that was handed to me. Yours says April. That's the right month. Man. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You know what? Look.
Look. He pulls it out of his coat pocket.
I forgot. I went to talk to some coaches there. Here it is.
Yeah, you went all right.
So forget March, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try again. Friday, April 27th, 3 p.m. and a.m. Sunday, April 29th, 8:30 a.m. and p.m. Tuesday, May 1st, 9:30 a.m. and p.m. And Friday, May the 4th at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. That works better.
He brought us water.
Thank you very much, Ray Smith.
Yeah, I told him to go to the truck. All right, as we get going here in the top of the second inning, leading off for Phoebus, number 2, the center fielder, Dominique Holt.
Dominique Holt is a junior.
His first at bat here in the game. Looks at a called third strike for the first out of the inning. That goes in your book as a backwards K, okay? Just thought I'd let you know that.
Look what I've got there. Look what I've got. Come on now. I'm not going to tell you how many years I've been doing this, but it's been well over 50. Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
Leadoff batter, number 3, Tommy Backey. He had a base hit back in the first inning and also scored the first phantom run. You've been doing this for how long?
You wouldn't believe how long.
No, I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. My father got me into doing this by the time I entered school.
I can believe you. I believe you.
Like I was in first grade when he taught me how to do a scorebook.
Ooh, that one's in the dirt. That one hit actually in front of the batter's box.
Why do they call it a box when it's not a box?
It's a rectangle.
Well, a box can be a rectangle, but it's not a box. A box is a container. Well, I guess that contains the batters. Mike's still trying to figure that one out.
You ask a question and you answer it yourself. That's good. That's good. I don't have to worry about it. Are we arguing? There's a swing and a miss.
We just had a question from the truck, and Andy,
2-2.
there is a definite or definitive answer to that question.
Sure,
I will be
one's
glad
plural.
to sit down and talk to you about it. No, one is not plural.
That one's also in the dirt. That makes it full count here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. One down in the top of the second inning.
Oh, come on out, sun. See that sun brighten up.
Yeah.
Bring that warmth to me.
There's a ground ball in the hole. And let's see, is he going to run it out? Whoa. Oh, nice play by the pitcher covering as the ball was thrown off target by the second baseman. But the out is there, number 2 for the inning. Watch this replay, guys.
Yeah, you watch the pitcher, Wetzler, as he gets over there. The second baseman gets it up. He looks up, and to his surprise, there's nobody there.
The ball was on the bag, so that was a good throw. From here, because what happened was the pitcher, when he went across the bag, he lost his balance and started like he was going to fall down, but that's because he kind of tripped over the bag. The ball was thrown by the second baseman right there where it was supposed to.
Yep, second baseman got a good play. Don't fault Bethel's first baseman. He was doing what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, well, second baseman made a good play getting over there to get that one, too. That goes 4-1 on the play. This is going to be James Voris. He sacrificed Tommy Backey back in the first inning and over to second base. He was the first out of the first inning. 0-2 now is the count. 2 down here. Oh, boy, that looked like a pretty pitch from here.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
As you're watching on the screen, just so you'll know for sure, ladies and gentlemen, the team in the field with the white jerseys and pants and the green is the Bethel Bruins. And the team at bat with the gray pants and the blue sleeves will be the Phoebus Phantoms.
That was in the dirt. That evens it up 2-2. 2 down here in the top of the second inning. Big difference so far right here in the second compared to the first, as the Phantoms really jumped on them hard back in the first inning.
Well, it looks like Logan Wetzler's settled down a little bit here. He's being a little more cautious with his pitches, I would say, and yet a little more judicious with them.
That one bounces right into the Phoebus Phantom dugout.
It also helps, Mike, when you're down by 4 in the first inning and you come into the dugout and your team picks up 3 runs, it's like, well, hey, I can go out there and throw this thing. That's a big boost for a pitcher when your team backs you up like that.
Oh. Must have been outside, because it sure looked good from my vantage point. And you're sitting here snickering too.
Well, it's real tough. As I said, they've moved this this booth way over to the left, so we're at a very sharp angle, probably 60-degree angle.
Outside!
Nice throw by the catcher to record the strikeout.
Hey, he dropped that.
I tell you what, you want to. The guy, the Phoebus Phantoms are arguing about that. The guy actually dropped it at first base.
Well, he caught it and then kind of threw it down with his gloves.
Give the pitcher a strikeout on the play and a throw out, 2-3 for the third out. So for the Phoebus Phantoms in the top of the second inning, they scored no runs. There were no hits. There were no Bethel errors, and there's nobody left on. Let's watch this again. Let's see how long the first baseman. Let's see how long the first baseman actually held on to the ball. Oh, okay. It's play before that.
There's the ball to the second baseman who picks it up. Watch this now. Just
right on the bag and then almost falls down. But good play by the second baseman on that play.
Good execution by the Bruins. Very good execution.
So Bethel came back and was able to keep Phoebus scoreless there in the second inning, as they will now come up to bat here in the bottom of the second inning, still trailing by 1, 4-3. That's going to bring the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second inning, Stephen DeSong, number 10. He is the third baseman for the Bruins. This will be his first at bat of the game.
Well, we've got a second here, Mike, and the wind is really blowing. I want to, just in case our cameramen get blown off of their perches, I want everybody to know who they are out there so we can call whoever we need to call in an emergency. On the cameras, we have Susan Bowers and Lloyd McKenzie. We brought him out today. Gene Wheeler was not able to make it today, so we brought Lloyd out here, and Lloyd's up on the camera here to my left, right on the third base dugout. I thought he was going to fall earlier today.
How come they call him Scotty?
We're up there to make sure. The Lloyd McKenzie, I said. And then, of course, Steve Fryer, who's always with us. We don't know why. He just keeps coming back. He's on the truck over by the first base, and I believe young Miss Bowers is out in right center field.
Got the backwards.
Did I get it backwards? Is that Susan? I can't see. Susan, where are you? Wave your hand. There you are. She's on the first base dugout. And Steve Fryer's out in center field.
Yeah, right where he ought to be, right out there, dead center field. There's a ground ball to the third baseman and the play for the first out of the inning.
But, folks, I wanted you to know at least who was out there bringing these great camera shots. I've always been highly impressed by the work of our cameramen here at LSC and WHCS. They're just a fantastic crew, I can tell you that right now.
That was a 5-3 put out.
Here's the replay as we see the bounced ball down to third base. Just a quick scoop, up with it, the toss to first base. That's what they call the easy out.
Jonathan Gomez, number 18, the batter. This is his first trip to the plate. Swing and a miss, strike one.
Yeah, great pitch from Vorse there. He took a little bit off of it, and Gomez was way ahead of that one.
Somebody needs to tell Steve out there in center field to make sure that wind don't blow him off the top of that van.
Well, that's why I said I needed to give the names of these camera people out first before the wind does blow them off.
See, Susan's got the advantage because she's standing on top of a flat surface on the truck. You're going to have to notify the next of kin, huh? There's a line drive to the right fielder.
Whoa!
And
my gracious.
Made the play right at the base of the ground. That goes down as an F9, and it's the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up the leadoff batter, Cisco Scott.
If we've got through, here it comes. Watch this replay. This was a really unique catch. A little flare out to right field. I thought with the possibility that thing's going to drop right in. Watch the right fielder comes in there and just kind of bends over. And if you saw it from the front, Mikey just kind of put that glove down on the ground and snapped the ball right up and caught it before it hit the ground. Just a wonderful play by the right fielder, and that is Michael Lee.
There's the umpire also was right there on top of it and saw it. So second out of the inning. Cisco Scott, number 15. He had a base hit back to lead off the game. Came around and scored the Bruins' first run back in the first. There's a strike. 1-1 is the call.
You know, we mentioned when Bethel came up and got those runs, and then Bethel went back out in the field, and we saw a little bit of the different pitcher there for the Bethel Bruins as Wetzler did a much better job in the second inning. Well, here we are in the second inning, and the Phoebus pitcher, James Vorse, is having the same success.
There's a line shot in the gap there in the infield to the left fielder, and a base hit for Scott. That's the second base hit in a row for him.
So what do? I jinx Vorse. As soon as I say how good he's pitching, boom. Of course, now Cisco went up, or Scott went up and got that one. That was up there. And
Two singles in a row. And watch him at first base. He's got a lot of speed. Ramal Reynolds now is the first baseman for the Bruins. I'm sorry, he's the left fielder. He's number 3.
Ramal Reynolds.
And he sacrificed. A little bit low outside. He sacrificed Scott over to second back in the first inning. 2 down here in the bottom of the second.
Ramal Reynolds got a .440 on-base percentage.
There's a fastball right at the knees, a strike.
Reynolds leads the team in walk with 12 base on balls. He also is tied for the team lead with 2 sacrifices. As we saw earlier, he now has the team lead with 3.
Calls timeout and steps out of the box.
I'd like to thank Coach Mingy of the Bethel Bruins, who brought these stats to the game today for his team.
A line drive down the left field line, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. When the wind stops blowing, you can really tell too, you know?
Tell what?
Huh?
Tell what?
That the wind stopped blowing.
Oh.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is all she wrote here in the second inning for the Bethel Bruins. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. So after 2 complete, it's Phoebus 4 and Bethel 3.
That was a nice breaking pitch there by James Vorse to end that last inning there, Mike. That one came across and just dove right toward the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, some other people that we have here, every now and then you might hear us snicker or laugh or do something because we've got some people in the truck that really make it interesting out here today. And in the truck today, we have Andy Foley, who's on graphics and animation for us. The slow motion instant replay is Krista Campbell, the camera control operator, Renee Camden, the chief engineer, Don Sharaus, the engineer, Greg Lesko, and the director and the producer, And the man who is going to buy everybody hot dogs after the game is Scotty Bowers.
Look at this.
And,
look at this. Look at this.
There is Andy Foley
going
right there.
to get hot dogs.
Ladies and gentlemen,
never hear the end of this.
we never identify people who get out of the truck, but Andy Foley is just such a great guy. He's the one that takes care of where you see PHS 04, BHS 03, and the balls and strikes and outs and third and LSC. He does all that interesting stuff for us. If we can just get him to know what the baseball lingo is like. Yeah, the truck said as long as you feed him, he's fine. But there he is, folks. Andy Foley going to get his dinner. Let's make sure.
And I bet you, I'll bet you $1 that he don't bring nothing over here to us.
Oh, my gracious.
All right, here we go as we get ready to start the top of the third inning of the play. Lead it off for the Phoebus Phantoms is Caleb Ward. As Ward had a base on ball and scored back in the first inning. He scored the second run for the Phantoms. Oh, it called strike.
Ward, as I mentioned earlier, is just a freshman. He's one of the guys they're going to be building this team around over the next few years. Good young player.
Size young man for a freshman. There's a ground ball down the third baseline coming in to make the play, and couldn't handle the play, and Ward is safe. Tell you what, that's going to be kind of hard to.
I'm going to give him a
base hit
because that speed. As I'm looking down there, I got one eye on the runner and one eye on the ball. And he kind of nonchalantly grabbed the ball and flipped it up.
Almost like a bunt, you know. I mean, the third baseman would have had to make a whale of a play in order to make that out.
I agree
so Ward
with you
gets to first base, with a base hit. Tommy Newman now will come to the plate. Newman had an RBI single and scored back in the first.
Newman, a good-looking hitter up there in the first inning. I'll tell you that. I was impressed with him.
Line shot to left center field. Got some power. Nice pitch, slow curveball. Had him looking that time.
So far, I know
1-1 is the count.
I know we've only gone through 2 innings here, Mike, but all the hits that we've seen have been really solid hits, real hard hit balls. Nothing cheap.
Ball down third baseline, foul.
That one sounded funny when it left, didn't it?
Must be the bat.
I wish they would just go back to wooden bats.
A couple years ago, back when Sam was playing, there was rumors going around. It never materialized, and they stayed with the aluminum. But this year is the first year they've got the restricted bats that they play with. And you got to have a special symbol on it, too, in order to be able to be used in the game.
Right. And the umpires check it before each game, trust me. But I'm a proponent of this type bat. Actually, I'm a proponent of the wood bat. So. Oh, nice piece of hitting. Very nice piece of hitting.
Down the first baseline, gets by the right fielder. Coming in to score on the play, Caleb Ward all the way from first base. Going to second base is Tommy Newman with a stand-up double. And another RBI. That gives him 2 on the game.
That was an inside-out hit, and I mean, he slashed that one, Mike. He just inside-outed it, ripped it down the first base line. That thing had some spin on it when it hit. It took off, ran away from the right fielder, and Caleb Ward literally could have walked into home on that one. Just another excellent piece of hitting by Timmy Newman. Again, I'm impressed with this young man.
Nice curveball in there for a strike. This is Hunter Boswell. He had a double down the third base line and 2 RBIs back in the first inning, so he is 1 for 1. Number 7, he's the first baseman for the Phantoms.
Wasn't just a double, Mike. He got hold of that one. He pulled that one right down the line and just ripped it. Got some power.
Fouled right back to us.
Catch that one.
0-2. No, I can't even reach the fence from here. They got us back far enough where. Do you think you can touch that fence from here?
Probably could if I stood up and leaned out there.
Lean. You'd have to lay on it to get to it. 0-2 is the count. Going to third base, and the ball is fouled out of play. Was Newman. He'll have to go back to second. 0-2 remains to count. What did I tell you? Did
That's what I was looking for.
Did Andy go back to the truck? Look at that.
I don't see any. I don't see any hot dogs here.
They're not ready, so they're delivering.
Oh.
Okay. I bet him $1 that you wouldn't bring anything over to us. There's a shot to the second baseman. It'll be an E4 off the chest. Coming all the way around to score is Newman. Nice hustle that time by Timmy Newman. Hunter Boswell will reach first base with an error.
That last batted ball looked like it either took a bad hop there at the last second. Watch this as it jumps up on him right here. Look.
Boom.
Obviously he misplayed it for the error, but that thing took a little hop up there. But like you said, Mike, great hustle by Timmy Newman, who took advantage of that like nobody was paying attention. He came right around to score.
Phoebus has scored 2 runs here in the top of the third inning. Now lead 6-3. That's going to bring up Ethan Bolts, the designated hitter. He grounded out to the first baseman unassisted back in the first. He was the second out of the inning.
Read his hand, Steve.
Boswell at first base is via the error. 2 down. I'm sorry, there's no outs. Nice bunt by Bolts. And he sacrifices Boswell. So no at bat on that one. That goes as a sack. And that is the first out of the inning. Hunter Boswell will move over to second base on the play. And that's going to bring up Dakota Shackle, number 21.
Replay of that last bunt. Look at him get out there, gets down, gets in front of it, just lays it right down on the ground. You give yourself up, you get the runner to the next base, and in this case, it's second. Phoebus doing a good job on fundamentals here today, Mike.
They are. Bit low on the pitch. Dakota back in the first inning had a base hit and was stranded at second base.
Phoebus with 6 hits and 2 sacrifices in the first 2 1/3 inning. And I was talking to Coach Carter before the game. He said one of their strengths is hitting. If they can just hit and play some good defense, they can stay in the game.
On the outside corner, in there for a strike.
Phoebus team 2-10, 2-10. Could have been easily 4-6. They played Kecoughtan to a 4-0 game. There's a close game, and they were only down to Menchville 5-4 after 5 innings when they lost to them. So they can play it tight. They can stay in the game. They've got a chance.
Back here to the backstop, but staying down there at second base is Hunter Boswell. We talked earlier that 2-10 is a team that's as young as this is doing really well. New coaching staff all the way around. And they're working hard to try to get this program ramped back up again as Phoebus has struggled over the past few years with baseball.
Well, they've got a good guy out there as a new coach, Feeney Carter. Of course, he was here at Bethel at one time. He's been out at York. He was at Grafton at one time. And I got a little tidbit of trivia here for you.
A tidbit?
Yeah, who holds the all-time batting average for American Legion in this area? Somebody in the truck said Richard Petty. No, that's a different game altogether. It would be the coach of the Phoebus Phantoms, Feeney Carter, who hit .585. And it still stands today, according to Mr. Feeney, to Mr. Carter, as the highest batting average in an American Legion season.
Shackle will get to first base with a base on balls. That puts runners at first and third. Going to third on the wild pitch is Boswell. Runners at the corners with one out. Tim Garris now the batter, left fielder for the Phantoms. He struck out swinging back in the first inning for the third out to end the inning. That's his turn to try to get a run in here. Going down to second base, and the throw is going to be off target. Is Shackle. He's safe with a stolen base. Staying over at third is Boswell. Pitch was in there for a call strike.
It's the third stolen base for the Phoebus Phantoms today.
Let's go, Phoebus. Let's go. Come on, Timmy, face it.
Actually, the fourth stolen base.
Nice slow curveball, swing and a miss. Had him reaching for that one.
Come on, Tim, you better than that. Choke up on the back. Get that back. One out. Move up and go in the box. Come on, son.
Keep your head in there, Six. Let me see you, boy.
Ground ball to the third baseman. They got him picked off.
Ooh.
And let's see what happens here. Throw back to third base, and the runner is out. Back to second base, and he's safe. So on a fielder's choice, Garris will reach first base. Staying at second base is Shackle, but being thrown out at third base is Hunter Boswell for the second out.
Watch the replay. This looks like a, what, 6-2 5
out.
6-2 5 fielder's choice.
Who's at first? Two down here, runners at first and second. That's going to bring up Dominique Holt, number 2. He's the center fielder. He struck out looking back in the second inning for the first out. Runners at first and second, 2 down. 2 in here in the third inning for the Phantoms.
Yes, you did.
Last play, Mike, you had the runner at second base, Dakota Shackle. He was running on contact, and the runner on third base was playing the ball to make it go through. That really was a little bit of a misstep there in base running for the Phantoms.
No, the guy on third base was trying to wait for the throw to take place, and Shackle at second base forced the issue.
Come on, get you out here, kid.
Pitch was low. It's 2 balls and a strike here.
Here we go, 2. Here we go. Hey, good pitch.
Ball strike. 2-2 is the count.
You all right, Dom? Go down to the plate. Cover that pitch. Crowd that plate. All you gotta do is push the plate. Never
Like
get you
someone
out.
come
to your house.
Gotta believe in yourself.
Let's go, Deuce. Let's go. Come on, Domo.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for the third out in the inning.
Okay, guys, let's go.
So in the third inning for the Phoebus Phantoms, they scored 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error by the Bethel Bruins, and there was 2 left. So after 2.5 innings of play, the Phoebus Phantoms are out in front of Bethel by a score of 6-3.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching LSC, your local sports channel, coming to you on Cox Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23. Today is April the 24th, 2012. We're at Bethel High School in Hampton, Virginia, as we bring you the Bethel Phoebus Phantom game right here on a beautiful, sunny, cool, windy day.
Brought the food to them already?
I beg your pardon?
They brought the food to them. They have delivery at the truck. So leading off for Bethel here in the bottom of the third inning is going to be number 12, Connor Henderson. He hit that shot to right center field to the fence for a triple. Toward Cisco Scott from second.
There's Mr. Lloyd up on your TV screen right there. Wave, Lloyd. Wave, 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 wave. Lloyd McKenzie doing a great job on the cameras out there. Putting up with the cold wind as it blows across. It is blowing from first base toward third. Is that right? Or is it blowing from my back now?
I thought it was blowing straight out from the plate.
From my back. Sometimes it feels like it's coming across my right side, and other times it feels like it's coming from behind.
Well, let's see what Henderson can do after showing what he could do in the first inning with that triple and an RBI. That was one of the real good, solid hits of the game so far.
Coming into the game, Henderson was hitting .324. He had 12 hits. He scored 13 runs and has 9 RBIs.
Low.
Go now. Hey, give me basic, kid. Say now.
One ball, no strikes. That was a pretty pitch right there. Got a piece of it, 1-1.
Pretty enough that Henderson thought he was going to catch up to that one. Just off a tad.
Hey, come on, Connor. Hey, give me a shot, 1-2. Come now. Off speed, Doyle. Fastball adjust. Hey!
Ooh, tried to bunt the ball on a slow changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count.
That was definitely an attempt for a hit there. He just kind of pulled the bat down and was going to edge it down the third base line with the third baseman playing even with the bag. He thought he'd fool everybody. He's got good speed.
Got a lot of power, though. That'd be letting rip with it. You just should say that helicopter's a little bit on the low side. Went right across the field.
Sound of freedom.
2-2. 2-2 is the count. Nobody out. High curveball. That was a lazy pitch.
And I wish, or he wishes, we were a little bit closer to the zone.
Curveball on the outside corner of the plate right here. It was low into the outside, but it was too low. Ball 4. So Henderson's on base for the second time. Bring up Hassel Graves, who reached first back in the first inning. Actually, he ended up reaching second base with 2 errors and eventually stole third base. He got 3 bases and didn't get a hit. And scored. Actually ended up with 4 bases. Oh, nice pickoff attempt.
That was Connor Henderson's 11th walk of the season.
It's almost a walk a game.
Yes, it is. And Hassel Graves, I believe he's one of the team leaders in batting average, hitting .359 coming in today's game, has 9 RBIs, had 14 hits coming into the game.
Turns around to bunt the ball and he puts it in the air. Third baseman almost made a play over here by the dugout. Runner was on his way to second base. That was Connor Henderson, so he'd come back to first.
Connor's got to make sure that on an attempt like that, that the ball gets down on the ground before you take off. You can't just run off blindly like that. Got a left-handed batter up here. You want that first baseman holding you to open up the hole on that side.
Off the tip and back safely.
Let's go, Hines.
They're worried about him, Mike.
Well, unfortunately, once the pitcher throws the ball, I can't see what goes on at the bag because I got everybody at the plate right here in front of me.
Well, so far the first baseman's caught it, and the runner has dove back to the bag. Now the catcher's thrown down.
Graves squared around the bunt, pulled it back, and they almost caught Henderson at first. 1-1 is the count. There goes the runner, and a perfect hit and run. He will end up at third base. Graves stops at first.
You couldn't have drawn that any better, Mike. Runner took off, shortstop, watch the play. I don't know whether you can see everything. Runner took off, the shortstop comes to cover second base, leaves a great big hole there, and Hassel Graves with an excellent piece of hitting as he pushes the ball right through that open hole at shortstop, driving the runner all the way to third base on the hit and run. Perfectly executed.
Bethel's got something going here in the bottom of the third inning with runners at the corners, nobody out, as they trail 6-3 here in the third. Henderson at third and Graves at first. This is going to bring up Rashawn Chambers. There goes Graves over to second base on a fake pickoff play as the catcher threw the ball straight to the pitcher, looking to see if Henderson was going to make a break for the plate, and he didn't. 1-0 is the count. Again, the batter is Rashawn Chambers, Bruin catcher.
That was the second stolen base of the game for Hassel Graves as he sits down at second base now, 90 feet behind Connor Henderson.
I like their helmets this year. They got really nice looking designs on them. Green and white to go with their uniform. Swing and a miss. 2-1. That was right in his wheelhouse too, boy.
It was.
Man,
it really was.
right at the bottom of his number. Hot dogs still smell good, you know.
Phoebus needs to get the out here.
Ground ball to the left side. Holds the runners. And everybody is going to be safe. That's going to go as a fielder's choice. Play was made at first base, but it was late. You want to give them a hit?
I think I'd give that a hit. There was just a mix-up on the fielders as we watched the replay. The first baseman fields it, second baseman got a slow start, and the pitcher got a slow start in getting over there, and he just beat that one out. I'd give him a hit on that one there, Mike.
That loads the bases up with two hits in the inning with a base on balls. That's going to bring up Taylor Moody, the left fielder. Had an RBI single back in the first inning.
That's not the man that the Phoebus Phantoms want up there at the plate, because right now, Mike, Taylor Moody has the team. He's tied or in second place with hits. He has 14 hits, but he leads the team in RBIs. He had 11 coming into the game, and he now has 12. He's batting a cool .333. So he's a very dangerous man.
Has a chance to really blow it here. Ooh, over the head. Oh, that chin music, but it's more like the back of the head music.
I was going to say wrong side of the head.
1-0 is to count. He's outside. You go from one side of the plate to the other. 2-0 is to count.
Yeah, James Vorse doesn't need to get fancy here. He just needs to throw that ball where they can put it into play and hope they can get a double play and keep one run from scoring anyway.
Just off the plate. Timeout is called by the Phantoms, and catcher will go out and have a chat with the pitcher now. 3-0 is the count. Bases are loaded. He could get an RBI, pick up an RBI just with a walk here.
He certainly could. That would give him 13.
No, Bethel is down by 3 runs.
Hey, come now. Come now.
I'm not going to say it. Pitch is in the dirt, so Moody will pick up an RBI with a base on balls. Everybody else moves up a base. And coming in to score is Henderson for the Bruins' 4th run. Timeout now as the coach and staff will go out and have a chit-chat with the pitcher. Still but nobody out and the bases loaded. That's going to bring up Xavier Kane, who is the designated hitter today, as he is DHing for the pitcher, Logan Wurtzler.
Mike, that was an impressive at-bat by Taylor Moody. I've got to tell you that right now. You get a lot of young kids. Now, he's a sophomore. You got a tight game. They're down by 3 runs.
On TV.
On TV. You've got the bases loaded. You're already leading the team with RBIs. You know that the team is going to count on you to try and get the RBIs. You can get overexcited and get up there and really botch it. He did a good job of watching every pitch and not going after something that he didn't want to hit. Now that's good hitting there.
Call strike. Let's see what Xavier Kane can do here.
If he shows the patience that Taylor Moody did, he'll help his team. Phoebus is hoping that he gets a little anxious and dinks into a double play.
Well, I'm going to have to give him a hit on that one.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
tell you, the second baseman made a well of a try trying to get that ball.
Yes, sir, you do. No argument from me on that.
Coming in to score is Graves.
Watch the replay. It's just a little flare towards second base, and the second baseman comes in and dives at that, trying to pick it out of the air. It would have been an extraordinary play if he'd have been able to make the catch.
Oh, no, that's exactly a cheap hit. That's about that's well as you can call that one. That's going to bring up Stephen DeShong. It's called strike. It's still bases loaded, nobody out, 2 runners in.
Well, Mike, you know as well as I do, on a play like that, on a little flare ball that's up in the air, second baseman, we know what he should have done. The ball's up in the air. You come in. You're going to play it off the bounce anyway because your runners are frozen because the ball's up in the air. You make the play at first, or you go to home and hope to get the double play. Not high enough in the air. The question for the truck was, why wasn't it an infield fly rule? Because it was low enough that it could have been an easy 2-bouncer to the second baseman. It has to be up in the air where it's an easily catchable fly ball in order to be called an infield fly.
Excellent question. There's a line drive to the first baseman. It goes down L3U. Line drive to the third baseman, unassisted for the first out. Nobody moves. Everybody stays there. And again, down at third base is Chambers, at second Moody, and at first is Kane. That's going to bring up Jonathan Gomez, number 18.
Here's that line shot right to the first baseman. Makes a nice jump and catches it there at first for the out.
1 down, base is still loaded.
Ooh.
Ground ball through the hole on the right side, 1 run in. The ball's dropped by the right fielder, and it's going to allow a second runner to score. And it looks like they're going to get Gomez at second. The second out of the inning. But the Bruins will take the lead, scoring Chambers and Moody.
And here's the play. It's ripped into right field. You see the right fielder get down for it. He just does miss it. It goes under his glove. He slings it home. The runner's safe at home. The catcher wisely fires it down to second base, where it looked like the shortstop, I believe, was covering to make that out. Good heads-up play by the catcher.
2 runners score on that as the Bruins will now take the lead 7-6 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. There are 2 down with the runner left at third base. That's Xavier Kane. That's going to bring up Cisco Scott, the leadoff batter, who is currently 2 for 2 in the game.
Folks, don't go away. This one's far from being over.
Gomez gets a base hit and an RBI.
We're in the third inning, and we've gone from Phoebus leading to Bethel leading to who knows what in the rest of this game. It's a good one here.
Gomez gets a base hit, an RBI, scoring. Actually gets two RBIs.
2 RBIs.
As Chambers and Moody both come in to score. Moving over to third from first is Xavier Kane, but Gomez gets thrown out at second base on the play. Cisco Scott, the batter now. He's 2 for 2. Has scored a run back in the first. Lazy curveball's a little on the high side.
Hello, base side right here. Hey, come now. Hey, give me base here. Let's go. Come now. Hey!
Call strike. 1-1 is the count. Just 2 down here in the bottom of the third inning as the Bruins have scored 4 runs on 4 hits. Foul tip right into the catcher's glove. 1 ball, 2 strikes now is the count.
Hey, look, 2 strike here. Look, 2 strike here. Come now.
Swing and a miss for the third strike as Scott goes down swinging, and the third out of the inning for the Bethel Bruins. So the Bruins scored 4 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors by the Phantoms, and there was 1 left on. So after 3 complete, the Bethel Bruins out in front now by a score of 7-6 over the Phantoms.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching LSC, your local sports channel here on Cox Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23. It is April the 24th, 2012. We are coming to you from Bethel High School in Hampton, Virginia, bringing you the Bethel Bruin and Phoebus Phantom baseball game. You can see this game again on Friday, April 27th at 3 p.m. and 3 a.m. On Sunday, April 29th at 8:30 a.m. and p.m. Tuesday, May 1st, 9:30 a.m. and p.m. And on Friday, May the 4th, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Again, we are LSC, your local sports channel.
7-6 as we get ready to start the top of the 4th inning of play here at Bethel.
Good game on a good day. Lots of good hitting, real strong hits. Good solid shots.
Tommy Backey will lead it off here in the top of the 4th for the Phantoms. And number 3, he is the second baseman. Couple of replays
Here's
from that last.
Little shot into right field, and we'll see the right fielder just miss it, but he picks it up and slings it to home real quickly.
In the meantime, 2 runners scored.
Yeah, it's off center, so the catcher makes a real quick heads-up play to nail the runner going to second base.
So as we get started here in the 4th, leadoff batter. Again, Tommy Backey is the leadoff hitter here in the 4th inning for the Phantoms. 1 for 2. Here's a lazy ground ball hit to the shortstop. Throw over to first base is in time for the out.
Nice dig by Hassel Graves at first base. He did a professional job there digging that one out, Mike. We're going to see the replay on that. As a nice sharp hit to shortstop. He picks it. Long throw. Watch this pick by the first baseman. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful.
James Voris now, the pitcher for the Phantoms, is up to plate. Sacrificed back in the first, struck out in the second, so he's 0 for 1 officially here in the game. Ooh, that one hit him. Just barely nicked him, but he's going to get first base by the hit batter. So with a runner at first base, Caleb Ward will come to the plate. Caleb, I'm sorry. Right fielder. I'm sorry, he's the shortstop, number 9. Look at this.
Look at Greg.
Look at Greg, you got to wave. Of course, he doesn't know he's being looked at, right?
Like everybody's going to the hot dog stand but us. We're the only ones not going to the hot dog stand. What's up with this?
Well, during the next half inning, I'll let you go over there, and I'll keep the folks interested in the game.
I thought they delivered.
Yeah, right.
Run it out.
Down the first base line, and it's foul ball by about 10 feet.
That pitch jammed him.
They have a pay in advance philosophy here at the hot dog stand.
Was that what it is? Well, maybe the truck will go down there and pay in advance for us.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. They're the ones with all the money, right?
Right. See, there you go.
Okay. 1-1 is the count. Here we go.
Caleb Ward singled and walked and scored twice.
Scotty says just keep waiting, right? 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count.
Put it in place. Come on, Charlie. Put it in place somewhere. If you're rolling it.
Top of the 4th inning. Bethel out in front 7-6. Outside gets by the catcher. And advancing down to second base on the play is James Voris.
That was a tough pitch for Chambers to handle there. That ball was in the dirt, and it just got by him, went on back to the backstop. Easily advancing to second base is the runner, James Voris.
Ooh. Adam chasing after a slow curveball outside.
We got 2 down.
Strikes out, swinging. Second out of the inning. That's now going to bring up Timmy Newman. Had a base hit in the first and an RBI and scored. Had a double in the third with an RBI and scored then. So he is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and scored 2 times.
Both hits were solid, sharp hits. Good hits. Like I said, he rifled one inside out. Like this kid, like the way he hits, like his approach. Number 17 on your screen there with the bat in his hand, down by his legs, as he gets the sign from the coach.
The runner down to third base on a steal attempt, and nothing going there. Perfect throw by the catcher down there as Graves throws the runner out at Voris out at third base for the third out. That's going to end. That'll end the 4th inning of play there.
I don't understand this play. You got 2 down. You don't make the last out at third base, particularly on the steal, and he is out by a mile.
You don't take the bat right out of the best hitter's hands.
Oh.
So after 3.5, the Phoebus Phantoms come up dry on that inning, as it is 3 up and 3 down, and they trail 7-6 going into the bottom of the 4th inning. We go into the bottom of the 4th inning.
Bottom of the 4th at Bethel High School on a beautiful April 24th, 2012. Temperature a little cool, very windy.
Shall we tell them what just happened?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
I want to make them feel bad.
No, that's okay. You want to make them feel bad, let's take her up on the offer and have the hamburgers and eat them while we're trying to talk.
More George down the sugar base.
Go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, boy. They just came and offered to give us some hamburgers.
And Mike said, no, we can't eat while we're talking.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Well, Scotty, that's what I said. I said send them to the truck, that we couldn't eat them. We were having to talk over here. And people would hear us. I said, when y'all talk, nobody would hear.
All right, here we go. As the leadoff batter here in the 4th is Ramal Reynolds. Reynolds led off. Let's see, he had a sacrifice back in the 1st inning. advanced Scott from first to second. He struck out in the second inning, so he's 0 for 1 officially, looking for his first hit here.
Bell with 7 hits on the year has 5 RBIs and 12 walks.
Popped up right here to the left side of the infield. The shortstop takes the play for the first out. F6 in the book. Out number 1. That's going to bring up number 12, Connor Henderson. Henderson back in the first inning had a triple RBI and scored. In the third inning, he had a base on balls and scored. So he scored twice, and he's 1 for 1 on the day.
He was involved in that great textbook hit and run with Hassel Graves in that second inning right before he scored.
Right on the inside corner, but the Phantoms didn't get the call on that. It's ball 1. Breaks. A ball line drive to the second baseman. Nice little play there for the second out of the inning. So he will L4 on the play. That's going to bring up Hassel Graves, number 20. He got, let's see, listen to what he did here, he's done in this game. Back in the first inning.
Well, let's watch the replay first here. There's a little flare.
Flare there, and nice play. Back in the first inning, Graves, he had a shot that ended up being an error by the first baseman. He ended up going all the way to second when a throw from the second baseman went into the dugout. He stole third base and then scored, had a base hit and scored back in the third inning. So he's 1 for 2 officially with 2 runs scored. That looks like a pretty pitch from here. The pitcher up there is wanting to know where that one was himself.
But look at your book there, Mike, for a second. Yep. You notice anything? Look at the innings for each team. You can't compare it though. You're on different pages there.
I got the other page in the back, but they're pretty close to looking the same.
Look. Runs, no runs, runs, no runs, runs, no runs, runs. Well, let's see what happens here.
Well, Phoebus better hope they don't get any runs because they're already down by 1. But there are 2 outs here. Graves can do. Pitch is high. 3-1 now is the count. 2 down. I think that's the first time I've seen the plate umpire give the signal of what the count is. Well, we don't need him. We got the guy in the truck that does a great job.
We have an umpire in the truck?
Yeah, man. Can't you tell? Listen to when he talks. Andy.
Oh, Andy.
Andy. He's the one that does all these graphics up here.
Now he called the pitches.
I'm now called.
Good. He's talented.
Yeah, man. 3-2 is the count. He's got it right there on the screen. 2 down. And he also has Bethel head out in front 7-6. So he's right there, too.
Oh.
That's right.
Man.
He says there's no errors there.
Maybe he is learning baseball.
Oh, swing and a miss on a great fastball, as that is the third out of the inning. So for the Bethel Bruins in the fourth inning, no hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left on. So at the end of 4, Bethel Bruins are out in front of the Phoebus Phantoms by a score of 7-6.
Mike, I think that last pitch from Voris was the best fastball he's thrown all day. That one had some giddy up on it.
It did, didn't it?
Oh, it did. Graves just could not get a bead on that one and get around on it at all. Watch this pitch. I tell you what. He couldn't catch up with that. Ball was burned.
So after 4 complete, the Bethel Bruins out in front 7-6, leading off the top of the 5th inning for the Phantoms. Number 17, Timmy Newman. Newman had a base hit and scored and had an RBI in the first. He hit a double and scored and had another RBI back in the third. So he's 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, and has scored twice. So Newman's had a good game so far here for the Phoebus Phantoms. You have a new pitcher out there for the Bethel Bruins.
Is it a new pitcher?
Well, the pitcher for them was number 4, James Voris. So they do have a new pitcher.
No. This is Bethel out here. That's.
I'm sorry. The pitcher for the Bethel Bruins is number 9, Logan Wurtzer. So if they've changed pitchers here. So it looks like number 5 now is pitching for the Bethel Bruins.
Who is that, Mr.
Number
Mike?
5 is Keith, or is it Cody Gross? K-O-D-Y, Gross, is now pitching for the Bethel Bruins. Gross comes in here in the top of the 5th inning with a 7-6 lead, and leading off the top of the 6th inning top of the 5th inning for the Phoebus Phantoms again is Timmy Newman. Had a good game so far, 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, scored twice. That's a nice fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Yeah, I'm sure that's one that Timmy Newman is saying, whoop, I should have taken that one and hit it instead of letting it go by.
This young man, Mr. Gross, has got a little bit more giddy up on his pitch than Wurtzler. Wurtzler has a lot of junk and worked well for the Bruins.
Well, Wurtzler is a finesse pitcher. Actually, his best pitch is his change. He uses his curve judiciously and has a nice fastball, but more of a finesse pitcher.
Newman will get a base hit. I'm sorry, gets a base on ball. Not a base hit, a base on ball.
Well, in the old days, that used to be a base hit, but
that was the real old days. Hunter Boswell now the batter. He's number 7. He is the first baseman. Had a double back in the first, scored a run, had 2 RBIs. Reached base safely back in the 3rd by an error. So he's 1 for 2. He's in the dirt, ball 1.
Phantom's not out of it yet. The Bruins doing a good job getting that lead and trying to hold on to it here against the young Phoebus Phantoms. The coach is hoping they just get better and better each game as they grow into a team.
Wurtzler did a pretty good job. He leaves the game with a 7-6 lead.
Right here, come out, kid.
A ball right up the middle, perfect double play ball, and the second baseman can't handle it, and everybody is safe. That one's going to go as an E4.
Right.
Runners at first and second now. Nobody out. That's going to bring up Ethan Bolts, and he is the designated hitter.
I'm sure as we watch this replay here that this is not a position Bethel wanted to put themselves in. That's a tailor-made double play right there, and he just can't handle it. You saw him lift his head there looking for the runner. You got to stay with that ball.
I'm thinking that the shortstop actually threw him off a little bit as he came across the bag onto the right side of the bag and got in front of the second baseman that was trying to make the play. So he may have thought that the shortstop was coming across to get the ball.
Well, let's see if Carter goes back to some fundamentals here. We've seen Phoebus and Bethel both with runners on and nobody out try and advance the runners through a sacrifice. You have a left-handed batter up here. Let's see if they're going to go ahead and try and sacrifice these runners to second and third. That would be my guess.
Bolts grounded to the third baseman, to the first baseman back in the first and hit into a sacrifice in the third. Pitch is low.
No sign of a bunt up there yet, Mike. That kind of surprises me.
And the next batter behind him has a base hit too, so we'll have to wait and see. So far, Bolts is still looking for his first hit.
Had a successful sacrifice in the third inning, so don't know why you wouldn't let him try right here.
Swing and a miss, and the ball comes all the way back to the fence, back on down to first baseline. So the sacrifice don't need to be used now, as both runners will advance, one at second and third. Newman goes over to third, and Boswell's at second now. A swing and a miss evens the count at 1-1.
Yep, and you're right. You turn Ethan Bolts loose right here with men at second and third. You want him ripping that ball. Both times he hit it down to first base or on the right side of the infield, and that's what you're looking for, and you want to get it out. And I am going to guess that Bethel's going to bring some infielders in, try and prevent Phoebus from getting that run. You can see the second baseman and the shortstop both on the edge of the grass. Third baseman now on the edge. First baseman's about even with the bag.
1-1 is the count. Nobody out here in the top of the fifth. Phoebus trying to get back in the game here after having to leave for all the first 3 innings. Gave it up on last inning. Let's see what happens here. And Adams swinging on a pitch that was a little bit outside. Looked more like a changeup too.
Yeah, pulled the string on that one.
Way out in front. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
All you trying to do is put it in.
Line drive down to first baseline, well foul.
That was the right idea. You want to get around on that fastball. You want to put it on the right side.
No, it almost looks like the scoreboard has gone off. They don't even have it lit up now.
It is off.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Just barely got a piece of that ball. Foul straight back to the fence.
Slowed that one down just enough to throw the batter off there. What do we got? 1 and 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Runners at second and third. There's a fly ball to deep right field. Back to make the play. That'll bring in 1 run. And advancing over to third is Boswell. So coming in to score the tying run is Newman on the sacrifice RBI by Bolts.
Now that hit brought the wind.
And that's the first out of the inning for the Phantoms. They tie the score up 7-7. Dakota Shackle now with a runner down at third base, who is Boswell. Shackle is 1 for 1 as he's got a base hit and a base on balls. There's a ground ball to the third baseman. Scoops it up, looks at the runner, throws the runner or the batter out at first base for the second out. That was a good job by the third baseman right there.
It was.
Held the runner, froze him at third base. That's going to bring up Tim Garris. That's the left fielder. Watch his sacrifice fly a little while ago by Ethan Bolts.
But that's exactly what Ethan wanted to do. He wanted to drive the ball, get it on the right side. You want to get it out of the infield. You know you're going to score a run if you get it up in the air. If it's on the ground and goes through, you'll get possibly 2.
And therefore call strike. Tim Garris, the runner, or the batter, struck out swinging in the first, hit into a fielder's choice in the third and was stranded at first base. So 7-7 right now is the score. Pitch is in the dirt, gets by the catcher, but nothing going as far as Boswell as he stays at third base. 1-1 is the count.
Tim Garris just looking to put this ball into play with 2 outs here. You want to get things moving on that infield or outfield and hopefully force the other team into making a mistake so you can get that run in if you can't get the ball out of the infield.
Just outside. 2-1.
Cody Gross, is it Gross?
Harris.
Cody Gross, the pitcher.
Oh, the pitcher, yes.
Yeah, doing a good job here to try and keep Phoebus off balance. Whoa.
Fly ball to left field. And play for the out. So for Phoebus in the top of the 5th inning, they scored 1 run. No hits were recorded. There was 1 error, and there was 1 left on. So after 5, after 4.5 innings of play, it is all tied up here at Bethel as the Bethel Bruins and the Phoebus Phantoms having 7 runs apiece.
Have 7 runs apiece. And they have them right here on LSC, your local sports channel. Cox Channel 48, Verizon Fios Channel 23. Right here at Bethel Field at Bethel High School in Hampton, Virginia.
Bruins.
Tied up. Does that mean we'll go into overtime, as Andy says?
No, that's not overtime in baseball. Now, you've been doing this for 50
Bonus
years,
time.
right?
Bonus time.
Bonus time.
I like to use all the words Andy uses.
Extra innings. As we come in here to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Bethel will send up to the plate to lead it off. Rashad Chambers, number 19, he's the catcher. He's had a pretty good game. We'll see. He struck out in the 1st inning. For the 2nd out, he had a base hit and scored in the 3rd, so he's 1 for 1.
And he'll be followed by Taylor Moody, who's picked up 2 RBIs to go along with his team leading, what was it, 11, 12?
It's 13 now. He's had 2 in this game.
13 now. He had a team leading 11 coming in. So let's see what happens here, Michael. 7 apiece. Is that what you said?
7 apiece.
7 apiece. Whoa.
Whoa, that one went all the way back to the backstop.
Just a little bit high.
1 ball, no strikes. Like Andy said, no errors. I don't have no errors. High and outside. What was that, Andy? I ain't got no errors. Low pitch. Takes a little bit off of it and had Chambers swinging on that. 2-1.
Kind of spun him around on that one.
First 2 pitches that he was outside the plate, he was kind of letting loose with it, but that one he took off a little bit and much better pitch. That one's up high.
I wish
3-1 is the count.
Stop.
What's that?
I wish that wind would stop.
Oh, you cold?
Only when the wind blows. That's why I wish it would stop.
Nice pitch, a little bit outside, but got the swing and miss. Full count now, 3-2. Leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Payoff pitch. Fouled back here out of play. We'll do it again. Like that bonus. That, huh?
We're going to have lessons for Andy.
Foul ball again here out of play. Our plate umpire, Keith LaFontaine, is going to say, hey, I need some extra baseballs here, guys. You're hitting them out of the park.
Running out real quick, isn't he?
Fly ball to left field. Backing up to the fence, backing up to the fence.
Oh, my goodness.
Off the fence.
Mike, that ball sounded like a thud-dud when it went off the bat. And it just kept, you could see the left fielder go back, look up, go back, look up. Watch this. Too bad we can't hear it off here, but it was kind of like a thunk.
I was surprised. I thought the ball was going out of the park the way the left fielder was running back, but he gave up on it. He just stopped running to the field. I mean, it looked at your center fielders wanting to know why you weren't back here. That might have been the reason. That sun may have taken, he may have lost it in the sun because he's looking right into the sun out there.
From the sound of it when it went off the bat, I expected it to go maybe to the edge of the outfield there on the dirt.
But you could see it was a good, 10, 15 feet short of the fence.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Moody got a good shot there, too, by our camera at center field.
That's because our camera people are great camera people.
So Chambers leads off the bottom of the 5th inning with a double. to left field. That's going to bring up Taylor Moody, number 7. He's the second baseman.
Very, very patient hitter here, number 7, Taylor Moody.
Ground ball towards the shortstop. And not in time, as he's going to be safe. And here comes Chambers in to score. Chambers will score. That's going to go as a base hit and an RB. Can't give him an RBI because it's going to end up being an E3.
Here's the replay here. You can see the ball bounce towards short. Short makes the play, makes the throw, but it just isn't in time. I think you're going to have to credit that to speed from Taylor Moody as he beats out that infield hit. And like Mike said, the runner, Rashawn Chambers, will score on the little error by the first baseman.
You know what? You can't give the error to the first baseman. The ball bounced in front of him. It's got to go to the shortstop on the throw. And you can't assume that the player in the field is going to be able to short hop a throw.
If you give an error on the throw, you can't give the hit.
You're right.
So you're going to give him a single or are you going to give him an error?
Give him an error because he scored off of the error after the ball bounced off of the first baseman's shoulder.
What are you going to give Taylor Moody?
I gave him the base hit.
Can't give him the base hit if you count the error to the shortstop. That's what I'm saying.
You're right there. Oh, look at the ball bounce around. It stayed foul, folks, but I tell you what, that ball came close to bouncing back into fair territory.
Mike and I are both looking down the line, and we've got a pretty good view of it right here. And
the ball was doing this number.
He was going back and forth, and we thought, both of us at the same time, it hit a little spot there. It looked like it was going to bounce right back across. Do we have a look? Watch this, guys. Goes down here. Look, right there. It just started in and then came back out.
Yeah, we're going to take the error off. Just give the kid a base hit.
I agree. The error on the squaring,
but we can't give him we can't give him the RBI though.
No.
Gutter ball. Whoa! Squares around the bunt, pulls it back, almost hits him. This is Xavier Kane, the designated hitter, number 4 for the Bruins. Grounded out to the shortstop in the first, had an RBI base hit back in the third, so he's 1 for 2. Moody down at first base with a base hit. Bunt down the first baseline, and it goes well foul.
No problem with that one trying to weave its way back.
That one ended up about 6 feet in the grass.
Bethel Bruins taking a 1-run lead here in the 5th inning. Nobody out.
Full count, 3-2. Let's see what he does. See if he still tries to sacrifice him down. Swinging away and gets a base hit.
Yeah.
We're giving him a base hit. That was a shot. That would have been a heck of a play by the second baseman if he had made that one.
Would.
So we ought to be able to see it here.
Real sharp hit, kind of an inside
has
out
to come
hit.
across. Yeah, if he stayed on his feet, he may have had a shot at that.
Well, he was going to have to get in front of that one all the way. The way he was right there, that ball was slicing away.
Now we got runners at first and second, and nobody out. The Bruins up in front, 8-7. There's the batter turning around the square to try to get the runners advance, and a nice play by the pitcher. Gets the out at third base.
Boris really getting off the mound quickly on that play. There was no hesitation on his part. As you watch the replay, he gets off the mound quickly, goes after the ball. Now look at this, no hesitation. He spins and goes right to third base. And he had plenty of time to get that out.
Fielder's choice by DeShong on the play puts him at first. At second base is Kane. The out it was made at third for the first out. And Jonathan Gomez now the batter. Gomez flied out to right field in the second. Had a base hit and 2 RBIs back in the third. First baseman looks at the catcher, says,
Puts his hands up. What are you doing?
I'm all the way in the grass. Why are you trying to throw?
Oh, that was cute.
The catcher says you should have been on the bag.
That's cute. That's Tommy Backey down there at first base. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Come on.
Ground ball
Trouble.
to third base. Yeah, this one's trouble. Pitcher makes a play, though. Did he get him? Yeah, he got him.
Oh, yeah.
That goes 1-3 for out number 2.
Here's the replay. Watch this one. A little slow bouncer again. Voris getting off the mound quickly, makes a set, and fires that thing down there. Just
Man, that was
does
close.
nip him. Ooh.
So Gomez reaches by fielder's choice at first base.
Where else can you get camera work like that?
Cisco Scott comes up to the plate with runners at the corners.
And Krista Campbell on that instant replay there with a slow-mo. Go ahead, girl.
Runners at second, third, sorry. Scott pops the ball up off the right side. Right field, the left fielder comes in, loses the ball. 2 runners will score.
Well, we saw that earlier, Mike, on that thud drive, as I call it, to left field. And here it is again, a pop-up to left field. And it kept getting up and getting back, and everybody went out for it and in for it, and it just ended up in the Bermuda Triangle with nobody knowing quite where it was. Drops in, and 2 runs scored, Mike. Is that correct?
2 runs scored. Coming in to score was Kane and DeShong. And the sun and back behind us is playing havoc right now with the left fielders. Especially Phoebus' left fielder.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've got that sun glaring right down on you from out here.
So Scott is at first base, give him 2 RBIs. That little blooper, and this is going to bring up Ramal Reynolds. There's a little blooper to second base. He comes in and makes the play for the third out. What a strange inning that was.
Well, as strange as it was, I think Bethel's going to take it. And Phoebus is just hoping they can have one just as strange in the next inning.
Well, Bethel scored 3 runs in the inning. They had 3 hits. No errors were recorded, and there was 1 left.
Got to have an error if you're going to score that run there in the beginning, Mike, because he didn't score on the hit.
Just didn't give him an RBI because he started off at second. He should have stopped at third.
Did stop at third.
Okay.
He went when the first baseman dropped the ball.
Right. So.
That's an error.
Okay. So we're going to take the hit away from.
Nope. First baseman dropped the ball after the runner was safe at first.
So you still have to give him an E3. An E3.
Yes.
So there is 1 error.
Yes.
Well, all right. We'll give the kid a base hit and an error. So we'll do it that way. That way everybody gets what?
But not an RBI.
But not an RBI.
That's correct.
All right. So in the 5th inning for the Bethel Bruins, they scored 3 runs. There was 5 hits, by the way, in that inning, and there was 1 left. So after 5 complete,
I only have 4.
or what, base hits? All right, let's see. The leadoff batter was Chambers. He had a double.
Right. Next guy's a single. Next guy's a single.
Okay, and then
Fielder's choice. 1-3.
Cisco Scott had a base hit and 2 RBIs.
Right. That's 4.
What did I say, 5?
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits. 3 runs on 4 hits.
There you go.
1 error, 1 left on.
There you go. Oh, what inning are we going into?
10-2. It is the top of the 6th.
Top of the 6th, and the Bethel Bruins up. We're at Bethel High School, Hampton, Virginia, on April 24th, 2012.
And it's 10-6 now, Bethel out in front. Leading off the 7. Leading off the top of the 6th inning for Phoebus is Dominique Holt. He is the center fielder. Inside, a little bit high, 2-0.
Go right at him, kid.
Dominique Holt has some very, very good speed. I believe he's a junior. If he gets on base, you need to look for him to run.
Number 9 hitter in the lineup. So far tonight, has 2 strikeouts. He is looking for his first base hit, swing and a miss.
Yeah, here you go, kid.
2-2 now is the count.
You know, if this game were to be tied up by the Phantoms, and we'll continue here in a second.
Low pitch, ball 3. Full count now.
We could help Andy out. We could have an overtime situation. We could let the coaches play each other. We'd have a whale of a game.
Let this swing and a miss for the first out of the inning.
Hey, one down.
Lead-off batter now, Tommy Backey, coming up. If they get to a 10-10 tie, you're talking about football. Then you can talk about overtime.
Well, look, you'd have Phoebus. You got Coach Carter over at Phoebus, who hit .585, the all-time high batting average in American Legion. And then on the other side, you've got Stephen Mingy, the coach of the Bethel Bruins, who was 9-0 in his senior year here at Bethel High School with an ERA under 1. That would be really great to see those two guys go at it.
Low ball 1. 1-1 is the count. Back in the first inning, he had a base hit and scored. He grounded out to the second baseman in the second and grounded out to shortstop in the fourth. Whew, that would look good.
Put a giddy up on his ball.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said about him in the first. Little ground ball back to the pitcher. Step in the throw. And the out.
I like when the pitchers do that. Did you see what he did? The ball's an obvious, easy bounce to him, and the pitchers just kind of relax, drop their arms, and stand there, wait till the ball, and they pick it, and just casually toss it over to first.
James Vorst, the batter now for the Phantoms. Sacrifice in the first inning to send Backey over to second base in the first inning. He struck out in the second, and he was hit by the ball, hit by the pitch in the fourth. Low in the dirt. I believe it's 1-1. Two down here in the top of the 6th inning. We got to pick our player of the games here.
Oh, they're already out on the field.
Those are players of the game. We have to pick a player of the game for each team.
A player. Well, they're all players, so pick one.
Outside. 2-2 is the count. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
2-2. That's
2-2.
the ballet count.
Yeah.
2-2.
I think so far for Tommy Newman has had a pretty darn good game for the Phantoms. Pitch is a little bit high, but that was a pretty pitch.
Think he's had a pretty good game? I'd say he's had an excellent game.
2 for 2, 2 RBI, scored 3 runs. Got a little piece of it, so he hangs in there. He's been the one-man show for the Phantoms here in this game.
Hey, regroup right here.
A couple of the other players have done well, but he's the one that's really been consistent so far. Low, and he'll pick up his second walk, or hit by a pitch last time, so. I don't know, but he sure does like that word, doesn't he? A bonus. Is he expecting a bonus from the TV station?
Maybe. He didn't want his team.
What do you think about that, Scotty?
He didn't want his team to move out to Los Angeles. I know that.
A bonus, Amber. Yeah, you're right. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner here for the Phantoms. Probably Gabriel Ward.
What makes you think that?
Because he's the only sub they have.
Know who got back?
Ward will go in for Boris unless he
He's just a courtesy runner. He's just a courtesy runner.
Going outside. Ward.
Caleb Ward, the freshman.
Base on balls and scored in the first. A base hit and scored in the third. Struck out in the fourth. There's a strike, 1-1. Still 2 down here. 10-7 is the score here. The Bethel Bruins jumped out back in the bottom of the 5th inning to take that lead. Swing and a miss. Ball, 2 strikes. Ball to second base. And the throw and out for out number 3 for the Phoebus Phantoms. So for the Phantoms in the 6th innings, no runs, no hits, no errors, and there was 1 left on. Well, after 5 1/2, the score remains the same. The Bethel Bruins 10 and the Phoebus Phantoms 7.
April 24th, 2012. You're watching LSC, the local sports channel, on Cox Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23 as we bring you the Bethel Bruins and the Phoebus Phantoms here at Bethel High School on a bright, sunny, chilly, and a little bit windy day. Oh, yeah.
All right, now we've got to pick one for the other one.
Well, I've got one in mind,
okay,
depending on what the final score ends up being, only because of that right there, for an obvious reason. Truck wants to know if we're talking about a no-hitter. Not when you have this many runs in a game. No, not at all.
Well, you got to figure that the person that would ask that question is the one that asked it.
It's been a good game so far. Phoebus has done very well. Bethel has done very well. I talked to the coaches before the game. They both said it was going to be a good game. Coach Carter was hoping that they could make the plays today, move the ball around at the plate, play some defense. If they could stay in the game. Coach Mingy said, well, number 1, we've got to throw strikes. We got to play mistake-free. Number 3, we got to score more runs than the other team. It's real simple, folks.
And that's the most important factor of the game.
One was
you got to score
more runs than the other teams.
As we get started here to go here in the bottom of the 6th inning, leading off the Bethel Bruins, Connor Henderson, number 12. He is the Phantom center fielder. RBI triple in the first, a base on balls in the third and scored, and lined out to the second baseman back in the fourth. So he is 1 for 2 officially, an RBI and 2 runs scored. Yeah, the Bruins leadoff batter, Cisco Scott's had a great game so far.
Yes, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, scored 1 run. Good job at short. Henderson has also done well with that RBI triple in the base on ball and 2 runs. Graves scored twice, has a hit. Chambers has 2 hits, 2 runs. And we could keep doing that through all the batters on both teams and come up with all that. It's just been a nice game to do.
That was close. Yeah, it was a good game.
I like it when we have some hits, we have some good pitching. We've seen some strong pitching. There I see a couple of my students from Jones. There's Madison Bailey sitting over here on the Phoebus side, even though she plays for the Bethel Bruins JV softball team.
Henderson draws a walk. And we'll trot down to first base. That's going to bring up Hassel Graves, number 20, the first baseman, left-hand hitter so far today. In the first inning, he reached safely by an error, went to second on an error, and stole third and scored. In the third, he had a base hit and scored and struck out back in the fourth. So he's officially 1 for 3 in the game. with 2 runs scored. He squares around to bunt the ball. Almost runs it out.
He was motoring down that line, wasn't he?
He was. And he bunted that ball for a base hit, too.
Watch this. I thought he was going to beat it out. And you're exactly right. He just kind of deked that thing down.
Phoebus pitcher's done well today playing defense, I'll tell you.
That's an understatement. That's an understatement, Mike.
All right, Chambers now the batter. Couple of hits on the day, 2 runs scored. Down at second base now is Henderson as he advances. He'll stay there as the ball gets by the catcher, and he wanted that bag.
Yeah, he's shaking his head.
I can't believe I didn't go on that one.
He shook his head on that one. He wanted it. Morris taking his time on the mound.
Low 2-0.
At this point in the game, down the way they are, you don't want to get behind and have to come in on some of these hitters in the middle of the lineup. You don't want to give Bethel any more chances to pick up any more runs.
Got to hold him here. There goes Henderson to third, and he will reach safely as the catcher dropped the ball. Henderson will get a stolen base on that one, so he's continuing to have a good game.
That's where you didn't want a Bethel base runner or base runner.
Base runner?
You don't want him 90 feet closer to home, I can tell you that. But he's there now.
1 out. 3-0 is the count. Ooh, man, is that a close pitch. That's 3-1 now. I'm sorry, it was not a 3-0 pitch. I tell you what, I think Phoebus' pitcher is getting a little frustrated out there, you think?
No comment.
Off-out ball over here towards the third base.
Nice catch.
Back out.
One of the Phoebus coaches there snagging that ball as it goes by.
Full count, 3-1. 1 down in the top of the, or the bottom of the 6th.
Full count, 3-1?
3-2.
3-2.
3-2 full count. Pitch is hit to the second baseman. It's going to knock the run in. And the out is recorded 4-3, but he's going to get an RBI out of that. As coming in to score is Henderson. That'll make it 11-7.
That's a run that Phoebus did not want to give up. Nice piece of hitting by Chambers as he gets it to the right side. That way you know the run's coming in. And it was an easy score for Henderson.
Taylor Moody now at the plate. That one was actually behind him all the way back to the fence. I think it's probably a little bit of frustration after the not getting a couple of calls for strikes in that last batter. 1-0 is the count. There's a hit right down there to the shortstop. Short hops it to the first baseman, and nice play for the third out.
Boswell over at first base picked that one right out of the dirt. Watch this replay. As Scotty would say, this is Teixeira-esque here. Hit right to short. Now watch the throw. It's going to be a little short. It's going to go into dirt. As he slings it, watch. Watch Boswell. Vroom. I got it. I got it.
The Bethel in the bottom of the 6th inning picks up a run on no hits. There was nobody left. No errors on the play, so it is 11-7 after 6 as we head towards the top of the 7th inning, and this is Phoebus's last chance here as they need to pick up 4 runs to stay in the game.
Last chance to this point.
They need to do what they did in the first inning here. Get out there and get aggressive.
Well, they've got batters coming up that can do that. I can tell you that right now. We'll have to see how Cody Gross.
Well, it's number 8 that's pitching right now.
Got another one in here.
Is that, I was looking to see if they made a possible change. Let's see, number 8 it is. That is
Ian Benner.
Ian Benner, yep. But he's going to come in and attempt to try to get the save here, as he has a 4-run lead going into the 7th inning. As we get ready to go in the 7th inning, it's going to bring up Timmy Newman to lead it off here. Outstanding game so far today for him. RBI base hit in the first and he scored. An RBI double and scored in the 3rd. A base on ball in the 5th and scored. So he scored 3, knocked in 2. And he is 2 for 2 with a walk and a double.
Young kid on the mound, Ian Benner. Mike, don't mind telling you, I taught him at Jones Magnet Middle School. He was there for 3 years and came over here to Bethel. He's a very fine young man, excellent young man. I'd take a class of 24 him anytime. We used to talk a lot of baseball. He loved it, played Little League back then. Great personality, great energy, loves the game of baseball. I talked to him before the game. He didn't think he was going to get into today's game. Wasn't time for him to pitch, but here he is. Tall, lanky young kid.
3-1 is the count.
One at a time, man.
And he'll pick up his 2nd consecutive base on balls. So down to first goes Newman. That's going to bring up Hunter Boswell. Had a double in the first, 2 RBIs and scored. Reached by error in the 3rd. And also reached by error in the 5th, so he's 1 for 2. He's 1 for 3 and 2 RBIs.
That double was that one that went right down the left field line into the corner, just ripped in there.
Pitches in the dirt. Timeout is called, and here comes the coach.
Bengy out to talk to the young Ian Benner on the mound. Having a little bit of a control issue here. You got a big lead. You don't want to have to get fancy. You just put the ball in there, let them knock it on the ground, pop it up in the air. Let your defense work behind you at this point.
You take a little bit off of that fastball and try to get a little bit more control.
Look for some location. Keep it where you can make some outs. That's all you need to do. You don't have to blow people away. There's Mr. Mingy trotting off the field after he's talked to Benner.
Good crowd here tonight.
Afternoon tonight?
Still overthrowing a little bit. 3-0 is the count. Doesn't want to start this inning off with 2 straight walks. There's a pitch right down the middle.
Nice pitch. Right there at the knees.
Difference there between the last 2 pitches. The one was at the knees and the other one was at the numbers, and he got the call on both of them. That was probably a 3-0 strike on that first one, though. Let's see how it goes here. There's a pop up to the right side or left side of the infield. Going back to make the play is the 3rd baseman for the first out. So Boswell pops out to the 3rd baseman for out number 1. Still at first base is Newman. Ethan Bolts will be the batter. There's a foul ball to the left here out of play. Across the street and into the woods. Nice hard hit, too. Got a piece of it.
Sounded better than some of the thunks we've heard that have popped up here.
Let's go, kid. Over the base right here.
Ooh, nice curveball. Had him looking at that one. 0-2 is the count.
That ball started in left field and ended up at the plate.
That's a curve. 0-2 pitch. Pitches the ball back to the pitcher. Gets by. Got the out. and they got the double play, and that will end it here off the double play, as the final score at Bethel High School is the Bethel Bruins 11 and the Phoebus Phantoms 7. Good ball game. Here's a replay of that game-ending double play.
Bouncer right through the pitcher's mound, taken by the second baseman, flips to short. Shortstop with a quick relay over to first, gets him by about a step and a half to 2 steps to end the game. Great game by both teams, won by the Bethel Bruins here at Bethel High School. Well, Mike, you've got a player of the game there, I know.
Yeah,
it's an easy one. We both agree on that one, no problem
for the Phoebus Phantoms, we're going to pick Timmy Newman as the Phantoms player of the game. Good game today, as he was 2 for 2. He was on the base all 4 times, had a couple of walks, had a couple of RBIs, scored 3 times. Great game by Timmy Newman, I'm sorry. Timmy.
And for the Bethel Bruins, we're going to go with Cisco Scott, who was 3 for 4 and 2 very important RBIs in the 5th inning, as Bethel broke out on top to take the lead, and those 2 RBIs helped Bethel to keep this win. So Cisco Scott for the Bethel Bruins, 3 for 4 with the 2 RBIs to help put them ahead.
Oh, that's a pretty good game today. I tell you, it started off like it was going to be a barn burner, and it settled down a little bit, and it turned out to be a well-played game. A lot of runs scored today, a lot of hits, not a lot of errors. It was well played by defensively, especially the starting pitcher for the Phantoms. He played really well defensively in the field.
James Voris. He also pitched very well, too. I was impressed.
Again, the final score here at Bethel High School is the Bethel Bruins 11 and the Phoebus Phantoms 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching LSC, your local sports channel on cable channel 48 Cox and Verizon Fios number 23. From up in the booth,
Mike Hauser along with
Paul Rowe.
Good night, everyone.